I'm reading a book by Michael Harris about, it's called The End of Absence. It's an interesting book. He's a good writer, and yet it has struck me since almost the very beginning of the book. A number of things. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's good to be able to turn off your phone. It's good to be able to turn off your computer. It's good to be able to remember how to be a person without technology. But what I'm noticing is, I mean, he's someone who works for a magazine, is a writer by trade, is dependent on being published by other people in order to make money, and is incredibly self-serving that way. I've noticed that, and this is another reason why I never really wanted to be a full-time writer. Did not want to ever have to depend on that to make a living, because I don't want to be ensconced in a system that makes me think a certain way to write the things that will get me, that will not alienate me from the system that can publish me. That's the thing. I mean, this. So I've read a few chapters. I kind of started to have objections right away, but I wanted to kind of wait and just kind of wait to find out what he was going to say. I mean, his first of all, start with this. As far as all the diagnosing attention deficit disorder and all of that stuff, I don't know. That doesn't really. I don't think that really has much to do with the internet. I mean, internet technology, that kind of thing. That has to do with the just multi-million-dollar business that it is to diagnose people with things that they don't have and put them on drugs. You should read about that, right? People who want to focus on things learn how to do that, right? So some of them have more discipline. Some of them have people teaching them to have more discipline. Some of them just, it's focus is the kind of thing that you just learn by practice, right? And that's always true. And the internet and other types of technology make things available to people at incredibly young ages, which is extremely cool to a certain extent. I mean, there's people like 6-year-old kids can now do like computer programs that allow them to interact with tablets in such a way that they can perform like orthopedic surgery, like simulated orthopedic surgery, which is the most unbelievable thing I could ever hear. I mean, if they're guided to the right things, to generations that are growing up with the internet and other types of technology that were simply not only not available when I was a kid, but just unheard of, totally unheard of, will be incredibly smart people. So there's that. It's really going to raise the intelligence level of humanity a lot. Just the amount of information they can get, the kinds of skills they can absorb. It's totally unbelievable. One thing that I noticed right away at the beginning of the book, and maybe he will get to it, but I'm not getting the feeling it's going in that direction. What he has not acknowledged is that the internet allows, and even just the devices that allow you to access the internet, allow people to speak for themselves in a way that's pretty much unprecedented. I mean, you can just get a website and you can publish stuff on it, and there you are. There's your real voice. Broadcast to as many people as end up hearing about you as possible, right? Which it's just, I mean, that's really, really important, and it's an incredibly useful tool for getting the real voices of people who are marginalized out there. And I have yet to. I've read a few chapters of the book now. I just finished the chapter that was about cyberbullying, and I have yet to hear anything from this guy, this writer, that talks about that. That talks about how important the internet and technology that allows people access to the internet is for making sure that individual voices can get heard in a way that's totally unprecedented. It really is, right? Because yet I think it's very self-serving. I mean, look at what has happened to me over the past several years. I mean, anyone who's just gonna walk right out there and say, the internet is a voice for people who otherwise wouldn't have one and who would be totally crushed by society and propaganda is probably would not get the kind of support that this guy got for his book. Lots of people have read it. They think it's great. He's got a contract for another book deal. It totally sold me out. Sold out other people like me. I find it to be really, I mean, and then this chapter that I read, he's basically victim blaming Amanda Todd, right? I mean, he has almost nothing to say about the root of bullying, what causes it, all of the things that are out there promoting it, and why, I suppose why would he? Even though he left his job at a magazine, it seemed like he considers magazines to be kind of a dying industry. and maybe didn't want to stop writing for a living, but is not about to say anything that's gonna tick those people off enough that he can't get published, gets bad reviews, that kind of thing. It's just unbelievable. Then he talks about a computer program that someone was developing at the time he was writing the book. A computer program that can identify abusive themes and the things that people write online. So the computer program would be helping to monitor things like bullying online. But to say the thing he didn't talk about whatsoever is if the people who are programming the computer are biased, then the filter they give the computer is also going to be biased, right? I mean, if you have someone taking it, so you say some kind of extreme example, right? If the people who are programming a computer to scour the internet for abusive language and that kind of thing, decide that something like, I don't know, maybe I need to be graphic about this, I don't know, something like, you fucking whore is not abusive, but let's see, you stupid jerk when it's directed at a man is abusive, right? Then how do you think that computer is going to react, right? I mean, he did not whatsoever go to the root of causes for things like cyberbullying, and if it's certainly in a way that's understandable, understandable in a negative way. He's not gonna bite the hand that feeds him, is he? No, it's very disappointing. It's really very disappointing read so far. Especially because the topic I think essentially is a good topic. Talking about the changes the changes in technology that are really changing the world, and sort of the loss of things like solitude that you want to have, the loss of things like being just wanting to be things about distractions. Yes, I think it's true. We're all like way more connected than we ever were before. Again, the idea is just turn off your phone. You can do that. You want to turn off your phone, you can. You want to turn off your computer, you can. You want to turn off, you can. You can do those things. I understand you're talking about a generational difference, but you're not really doing much to identify things that make people kind of unbearable to each other, right? You have sidestepped that issue in every chapter of this book that I have read so far.